Hello, welcome to the webinar. Today we are going to be talking about how to make money from your passions. And I'm really excited to be hosting my first webinar. And this is a pretty big deal for me. And I'm just really excited to reach you at a greater capacity and do a little bit more in-depth training than I typically provide or do through a podcast or video, because I'm with you for a longer period of time and able to deep dive a little bit more than I do with some of the content I produce on a weekly basis. And so we're going to be talking about the 5 ways to make money from your passions. Passion is really important to have if you want to thrive in work that you love, and or walk out your purpose or call that you have on your life. So a little bit about me. I'll just make an introduction. If this will work. Okay, this doesn't seem to want to work. There we go. We got it. So my name is Stephanie O'Brien, and I am the founder and creator of the company called Moved by Purpose, where I help people that deeply desire to have clarity on their purpose and to just really thrive in life and work that they love. I help them discern and go through that process, the clarifying process of what that looks like and how to make your dreams a reality. And I love what I do. This is such a gift and an honor to be doing this. And while I don't have time to go so deeply into every detail of my story, of how I even arrived to it, I can give you an overview of that. And I was a person that graduated from college with a degree that I really believed that I would be satisfied in and really enjoy, to learn that it wasn't everything I thought it would be. And that was really disappointing because I had a lot of student loan debt, and I just was so convinced that this career as a social worker would have been a perfect fit for me, and it wasn't. And I just really didn't think there was any other way or anything else that would meet my, or be a good fit for me or fit my wiring, because I was very equipped and trained in the school system and by other people that really, I didn't have a lot of entrepreneurs in my life. Entrepreneurship does not run really big in my family. To be traditionally minded in what's available for my skill set and passions in traditional work. And so when people noticed that I was very compassionate and very good at listening to people and just really drawn to walk somebody through a crisis or a difficult and to walk them through that transformation, they said I'd make a great social worker or a great counselor. All the career assessments revealed that as well. But in traditional work, I just wasn't fulfilled in that. So I picked up the book 48 Days to the Work You Love and read it, and it resonated so well with me. And I was so ignited and full of hope to dream again and believe in something greater, something so much bigger than what my whole world at that moment told me was all that there was. I knew there was something bigger and greater, and I was just so excited that Dan Miller, the author of this book, was a creative thinker, a thought leader, and brought fresh new hope and perspective into my life. So I went to one of his conferences called Coaching with Excellence, and it was quite a lot of money for me at that time. And it was a risk, but I was willing to take that risk, and it was the best decision I ever made, because I had big dreams of me making a really big impact in the world, and doing something like writing books or speaking to masses and inspiring and influencing the crowd to, I didn't know the specifics, but to just really positively influence and impact the world. And again, I thought I would somehow get there through social work, working my way up to a CEO or something like that. I didn't know much about non-traditional work or entrepreneurship. And so everything I dreamed of or envisioned inside me for years and years, when I went to this conference, I saw all of that placed right before my eyes and was given the roadmap with how to make that dream a reality. And it was the most exciting experience. And I got home from that conference and told everyone, I'm starting a business. I'm going to be a coach. And at first I didn't know what I was going to coach people through. I had multiple passions, multiple ideas. I just knew for sure I wanted to be a coach and have my own business. That I was clear on. But I wasn't clear on the niche or the target market or any of that. I had no business knowledge whatsoever. I didn't know, like when I would follow some of these gurus, they would use language I wasn't aware of. Like one thing, niche. I'm like, what the heck is a niche? Target market. What does that mean? What's a target market? And so I'm going to do my best to not use marketing business lingo. Now that I've been so deeply seeped into it, it kind of just comes out. But I realized when I started, I didn't know any of that. I didn't know what JV partners were. I knew nothing. But I started and I was getting clients and I was getting paid right out of the bat without a website, without having any business experience, without having marketing material. I just had a message and a heart to help people, and they wanted the solution that I could help them get to. And so they were willing to pay me for that. So anyway, in this webinar today, that's exactly what I'm going to teach you how to do. Teach you that it's okay if you don't have the crystal clarity, like you know exactly what you're going to do before you set out. This webinar is specific for people that want to start their own business. They clearly want to start a business, but they need help clarifying through their passions and their ideas as to how to make that happen. So, if this can work again. There we go. Okay, so you've heard the statistics before, I'm sure, where there's nearly 80% of Americans that dislike their job. A Gallup poll done in 2013 discovered that. And there's an error right there. Look at that discrepancy. I didn't even notice. 20%, that means about 20% that actually do like their job, not 30%. So I'm sorry for that error. But I'm human. We make mistakes, and I have no shame in revealing those. Anyway, so moving on. And I was one of those workers, like I mentioned in the story. I was one of those people who did not like their job and desired something greater and something more fulfilling. And I just think those numbers are so sad. I think the numbers are just really tragic. It's very devastating to our economy. The loss in productivity is about $500 billion a year because of this. And, not to mention the cost of, I talk to a lot of people that are linked to golden handcuffs where they get paid very, very well, but they're completely miserable. And at what cost do you stay for a high paycheck? Their marriages are falling apart. They don't get to see their kids grow up. They're missing that precious opportunity. Their health is deteriorating. And so it's like, how much are you going to get paid to give up everything else? It's kind of hard to enjoy that money if everything else that, in my opinion, is more valuable in life than money is falling apart. So, and that's exactly what I do. I encourage people to trust letting that go. And I obviously set you up for success. I'm not going to set you up for failure. But I do work with a lot of clients that have those fears of letting go of that day job and that steady paycheck and what that looks like. So this is what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to learn what to do to narrow down your ideas so you can start making money from them. Again, I talked about this is for people who want to start their own business, but you have so many ideas. We're going to talk about how to narrow those down and then how to start making money from them. Learn how to market yourself to get paid what you're worth. And it's most likely going to be more than what you think you can actually charge. And then learn where to find the people that will actually pay you to do what you love. And so the 5 ways to make money from your passions, we'll start with the first step, which is narrowing down your passions. And the 5 ways to narrow down your passions is to first write down a list of everything you enjoy doing. This is something I don't want you to overthink here. This is a simple exercise, simply writing it down. Don't start criticizing or judging yourself for what you write down. Don't try to think like, oh, I'm going to write down things that will only lead me to money or only seem practical. Being outside, painting pictures, shopping, talking with friends, date night. Write it down. If you enjoy it, write it down. This is not a time to judge what you write down. Number 2, you ask yourself why you enjoy doing these things. And this is really important to learn why. Understanding your why you enjoy doing these things is really, really critical. It's also the most difficult part of the process to work out on your own. It can be done on your own, but it's harder. It really helps to speak with someone else that can ask questions or that can be a sounding board or can help really guide you through this process and help identify it. I recommend a group and a guide that's ahead of you, and this model has been proven in many successful programs like AA groups have the support group, and then you get a sponsor assigned to you that you can have that mentoring relationship with. Weight Watchers, you have the group, and then you have the one person that has successfully completed the program and kept off the weight for years and knows how to coach people through that. So I'm a big supporter of mastermind groups or group coaching programs that really help you as a group to process through, and then you have that one expert guide. And the Passion Project, which I will be sharing with you more in depth later, does offer all of that great benefit of the group helping each other process through their ideas, sharing successes, helping other people overcome obstacles. And then I, as the guide who has successfully gone through this process, it helped several people walk through this process and are really thriving in work they love. So anyway, ask yourself why you enjoy doing these things. And let's say you enjoy painting. What is it about painting that you enjoy the most? Is it therapeutic, an expression of yourself, the beauty of the work you create, the way your art can convey an emotion? Just really start thinking, why, and write down everything. Again, this is not a time to judge. Write down everything you think, why you enjoy it. And going through the list, why you enjoy it, you'll start noticing certain patterns. You may need help identifying what those patterns are, but this is why you need to go through the list, and you'll start picking them up. And then, again, a coach or a guide is really good at identifying patterns and revealing that to you. Number 3, write down a list of things you value. This list will include the things that are part of what you do. It's something that is part of your missions, vision, and behavior. So this is not about passions per se, as far as like I like, or things you enjoy, like I like rollerblading, but it's kind of like it's a value, like integrity, empowerment, creativity, community, security, excellence. Those are examples of values. So write those down as well. And then number 4, you want to write down your epitaph. What do you want to be remembered for? Do you want people to remember you for your drive, your ambition, your passion for life? Do you want to be remembered for your generosity, your integrity, your service? And then at the end of the day, what impact do you want to make in the world? And that's really important, because you're going to work from the end back to the beginning. Number 5, ask yourself what is similar in all of these that I mentioned already. Look for patterns, repeating patterns, or look for the similarities amongst all of these exercises, these 5 steps. So, for example, let's go back to the painting example. Perhaps the biggest reason you enjoy painting is because you are able to creatively express yourself in a way that brings beauty and healing to those who have the pleasure of seeing your work. You also wrote that you value creativity and excellence. In your epitaph, you want to be remembered as someone who helps others through your work. And you brought healing and life to people in pain through your work. So what is similar in all of these? You are passionate about helping others or bringing joy through your creative gift of painting. And again, if you're having a tough time articulating why you enjoy something, or you use the go-to answer, I get a lot of, I'm passionate about helping people, or I just want to help people. It's not specific enough, it's not concrete enough, and it doesn't really help you. I mean, you know you want to help people, but here you are kind of confused and lost as to how to make money from that, right? So, again, an objective person, a group, a coach will really help you nail down this process. And if you're having a difficult time processing through this, find an objective person who is skilled to help you process through blocks and limited thinking. And that's another thing that really trips a lot of people up, is limited thinking. And again, working with healthy people that can identify negative thinking or limited thinking is really, really just critical to your breakthrough. If you're surrounded by people that just are negative thinkers or limited thinkers, it's going to be challenging to have them notice it in yourself and be able to call it out and help you get past that habit or those blocks. Coaches are really great for that again. So the second way to make money from your passions, the first was narrowing down your passions, and I gave you the 5 ways to narrow down your passions. Number 2, you need to write down your vision. The Bible says where there is no vision, the people perish. And it's you've got to have a vision. You've got to know where you are going. The Passion Project will go through the process of identifying your passions, your values, and your vision, and using them to come up with a profitable business idea that will help you stay true to your personality, gifts, and strengths, and help you prosper and thrive in work you love, which is why you guys are all here. You want to be able to do that and just really thrive, not just survive, but thrive. And how to make money, how to market to make money. I promised you that I would teach you how to make money from your passions. So once you go through this process of narrowing down your idea, identifying what your vision is, you're ready to start marketing to make money. As I shared earlier in my story, I was clear I wanted to be a coach, and that was clear enough. And the process of knowing who my ideal client is and where to find them took a little bit of time, but I was still able to make money from it right away. So the 4 ways to market yourself to make money is: number 1, keep things simple. Number 2, you don't have to master marketing in order to start. Number 3, pick 2 marketing strategies that line up with where you ultimately want to be in your life and business. And number 4, commit to the strategy for a minimum of 6 to 9 months to determine if it is yielding the results you want. So let's keep things simple. Number 1, we'll go more on that. You want to keep things simple. You don't have to master marketing in order to start. So if you're the kind of person who feels like you need to know as much information as you can before you can start taking action, this is going to trip you up a lot. While it's really good to be prepared and to know the facts and to know what you need to know, you don't need to know it all before you begin. You just need to know what you need to do to take your first step. A lot of times it's the action that teaches you more than reading or studying. It's the experience that's the greater teacher than studying theory, if that makes any sense. So don't wait until you have every piece of information you think you need before you start taking action. And it's a dangerous trap that people get into when they're nervous and they're starting something new. They really want to do it right. They want to get it right the first time. And that's just not, the first time, I don't know if you've ever tried driving a stick shift. Those of you that do have stick shifts or have driven stick shifts will smile with amusement and the memories of just how bad they were when they first learned. You stalled the car out, hills scared you, you didn't like traffic because of all the shifting because you were still learning, and eventually you mastered it. So when I first got the car I'm driving now, it is a stick shift. I couldn't even drive it off the lot. My mom had to drive it off the lot, and I didn't know how to drive it, and I would practice every day. My dad taught me how to drive it, and then he was like, okay, you know enough to drive home. And I had to drive that thing to work. It took a month to get comfortable with it, and I tell you, I avoided traffic, I avoided stopping, I avoided hells, and now, I can talk on the phone and eat and shift and have a conversation and do all kinds of things and not even think twice about it. It's so easy for me. But the only way I would have gotten there, it was by getting in that car and driving, no matter how scary it was, how uncomfortable it was. And I survived. I was okay. I may have stalled the car out a million times, but I learned, and so will you. Number 2, you don't have to master marketing in order to start. I already talked about that a little bit, and you'll hear me repeating so many things. Is you don't have to have every single thing mastered before you begin. You master something because you begin. Does that make sense? Like, you master it because you take action, because you take risks, because you get out there and you do something. And number 3, pick 2 marketing strategies that line up with where you ultimately want to be in your life or business. So, for example, if you want to earn passive income, make sure that your marketing strategies and business initiatives line up with that. So, you want to keep the vision, the big picture, and your big goals in line with the small goals. Like, the steps that you take now will help you get to that ultimate goal. If you want to be location independent, don't purchase a storefront and limit yourself to a location. Common sense things. And I go over multiple marketing strategies that you can do in the Passion Project. And in fact, I provide you with a PDF list of over 100 ways to market yourself that includes instructions on how, not just the idea, but how to actually implement those strategies. This alone is worth more than the program. And I also teach you how to build key relationships with people to promote your services and or products in the Passion Project. And the fourth way to market yourself to make money is to commit to these strategies for a minimum of 6 to 9 months to determine if it is yielding the results that you want. It takes consistency. It really does. Okay, so it takes consistency. Consistency in your marketing efforts is very important if you want to measure your effectiveness. So you've got to be disciplined and dedicated to trying the same thing, even if it's not yielding results right away. 6 to 9 months is a good time to measure before you maybe transition to something else or another effort that may be more fruitful. Remember that showing up and staying consistent is key. Now, 6 to 9 months is a little bit short. A lot of people do recommend a year. I blogged for, I believe, a year to measure it. I mean, I still blog, but then I started adding other things like podcast, and I podcasted for a year, and now I'm doing video. So I do the year mark, 6 to 9 months minimum. And the third way to make money from your passions is to set goals for your marketing initiatives. And this is goals. You've heard me talk about this. You've heard me say this. Goals are really important. They're kind of a big deal with having a successful business or just meeting any goals in your life or having success in any area of your life. You need to have goals written down on concrete. And I'm not going to take credit for this. Pat Flynn is the one who said this about goals. You need to write them down, you need to break them down, and you need to take them down. And number one, you need to be realistic about your goals. And this is what I mean. And I'm really big on being ambitious and bold and courageous and huge thinking, not thinking small. And I'm a personality that loves to think really big, but doesn't necessarily know what it takes to make that goal a reality or make that happen. And so I might have a really big goal that just isn't realistic with the timing of making that happen. Or I may not have the skill set to make that happen, or I may not know the details of what it takes to make that happen. So just be aware of what's involved with making your goal a reality. So if you choose to market yourself with a podcast, it's fair to say that unless you already have a relationship with someone with a massive audience that is willing to promote your show to their audience, you may not get 100,000 subscribers in 3 days. That may take some time. And if you're only promoting to one person with a massive audience, unless their audience is millions of people, the chances of converting 100,000 people is pretty minimal. But if that is the goal, once again, determine what it will take to make that happen. Be clear on the amount of money it will take to make that happen, because something like that might require advertising or funding a team of people that can support and deliver quality customer service to this audience, and the number of people you need to promote the show to hit those numbers. So I don't want to say it's not possible, but like 100,000 subscribers maybe in 3 months might be a little bit more realistic. 3 days is pretty ambitious, I will say. So the next thing, the final way to make money is to identify where people are that will pay you for what you do. People need to pay you, right? That's how you make money from your passions. And you hear that all the time, but very few people tell you where to find them. And I teach you where to find them in the Passion Project. I work with you individually, and then as a group you get the ideas and the recommendations. You get introductions to other key people. This is the power of networking, folks. This is the power of collaborating together and working together collectively on a goal and helping each other succeed in life. A rising tide raises all ships. We're in this together. So the first thing you need to do is identify what your ideal client is. Once again, I tell you how to do that in the Passion Project. But I'll go over some questions that you can answer in this webinar with how you can find your ideal client. So once you're clear on your ideal client, you will know where to find them a lot easier. Like a lot easier. So, identifying your ideal client. You will need to write down an ideal client profile. And I give you this in one of the sessions and assignments in the Passion Project. But for now, ask yourself, number one, or letter A, where do they hang out? What kind of things do they love to do? What websites and forums do they visit? What is important to them? What do they value? What problems do they want solved? If you ask these questions, you'll have a better idea of how to attract them and how to market to them. And as I said throughout this, I cover how to gain clarity on your passions, how to use those passions to create your dream job, how to transition from your day job to your dream job, and how to work less and earn more, all in the Passion Project. This is a 6-month program where we meet 1 to 2 times a month for about 90 minutes each meeting on the phone or through a video conferencing, whatever is most convenient for you. Space is limited to only 10 people, so you do need to register and sign up quickly. And you get the power of the group. Like I mentioned, you get the power of the mastermind group, which has been proven to set people up for success and keep them walking in that success more than really any other method out there. Plus, included in that, you get free breakthrough and clarity individual sessions with me, which is a $1,200 value alone. So not only do you get the power of the group, but I include 4 individualized sessions with me, which a lot of people for my time, that individualized time, pay for that amount, for $1,200 for that. All of this is for $149 a month. And the reason it's lower cost is because this is a pilot program. This program will most likely be, when it's fully done, will probably be about $5,000. So you get an incredible value. You get my time extensively. You get my individualized time. You get a small group. And a lot of programs out there are great. And I'm not knocking anybody's stuff out there. But what I found when I participated in those programs is, while the online courses are nice, and a lot of the online courses that teach you the stuff that I cover, they're online courses, and they're about $2,000 for just an online course. And yes, you have the forum, which you get here in the chat room, and they do once a month like a Q&A call, which is very valuable. But that Q&A phone call has hundreds of people on the phone, so you don't get that individualized service. And unless you're paying a premium to get like an individual session like I give you here, that price goes up to upward near $10,000. So we're talking $2,000 to probably $10,000 for the amount of attention that you get in this program for $149 a month for 6 months. Now the price will go up to $249 a month on June 20th. So you do need to act fast if you want this early bird registration rate, and we start on June 30th. Now please feel free to email me and ask me questions regarding this program should any of you have them. And I want to give some testimonials. Sandra was in my passion project, and she was hesitant at first to join the passion project because she was not sure if she had time to focus on her dream business. She says, Stephanie in the group has helped me to identify my niche and target audience. I've had made more progress in the past few months after floundering for over a year on my own. I've been able to identify and process the blocks that were preventing me from moving forward and developing my business. Stephanie taught me different techniques to use social media. I feel more confident about my strengths and abilities to be successful in a career that I feel passionate and excited about. I definitely recommend working with Stephanie. She is truly an excellent coach, and she knows what she is doing. So there's more to it than that, but you can read that for yourself. Cheryl says she hesitated joining the Passion Project because she didn't think she would get much out of it. This was someone who's tried different groups and workshops and programs that just really disappointed her expectations. She didn't get what she thought she would get out of it, which is frustrating. And she wrote me just really nervous because she really wanted it, but she wanted that assurance of, will you actually help me? Because I've tried different things and they weren't working. And she got big breakthroughs, and she wrote and said that she definitely got more than what she had hoped for in this program. It was a great decision and very valuable to her. And so she got the accountability. She used to spend a lot of time thinking about all the details and get too far ahead of herself. And so I would hold her accountable and help her stay focused. And then they do talk about, how I am very gentle and loving in my approach, but also have a no excuses attitude, hold you to a no excuses attitude, and tell you to get back in there and it will be okay. And then Stephanie also was somebody that just always dreamed but wasn't taking action. And so I gave her a plan and helped her to take that step into her dreams. And I walked her through the process of what that looks like and the action steps she needs to take. And she said she's so glad that she did. Encouraging anyone who's feeling stuck in their jobs or careers to reach out to me for guidance. I have many more testimonials, but you can go and read those on my website. You can click here to register now to get that $149 per month rate. And if you actually sign up today, the day of the webinar, I will knock off $49 a month. So you'll actually get it for $100 a month if you register today. And then after today, it goes up to $149, and after the 20th, it goes up to $249. So thank you again for stopping by, and please feel free to email me at movedbypurpose.net. It's Stephanie at movedbypurpose.net. If you click here, you'll see you'll go to the website, and we'll be able to see my contact information. You can just say contact and email me and ask me any questions if you have any. Thank you.